guys, and welcome to iPunt Smart. We are racing today from the Vaal Classic course again, back to where we were on Tuesday, and we start off in the first with a greenie in the form of D'Angelo, the only runner from Moffat with Munger, the rider. That being said, I do also quite like Global Town and Ricardo, and I'll show you why. These other ones is also actually quite like them. It is a 1450 on the Vaal Classic, and I look at the Vaal Classic form of Ricardo. He was at 55 to 1, but that was on his debut when Danielson was taking the ride. Chase Majan is taking the ride again today, and judging on his last run, he did make quite a lot of improvement, running only 1 length behind the winner on the 19th of January. Be that as it may, the exact same day, the 19th of January, also saw Global Town in that race, and Global Town wasn't all that far off them. Global Town does have a better merit rating, and Calvin Hubbard was just trying him out on that day, and he was much worse than what his 1200 Vaal bat figure of 6.16 suggests. So I'm expecting Global Town to be closer to Ricardo, if not beating Ricardo today, just purely looking at his previous runs and the fact that Calvin Hubbard only had him on that one specific run, and the odds suggestions from the previous races. Then D'Angelo on the 5th of January ran against Global Town on a 1200 Vaal when Kumalo was riding on Global Town. Back 7, drifted to 16 to 1. D'Angelo, Ryan Munger was taking the ride, was 14 to 1, drifted to 20 to 1. Apparently there has been a bit of rain in the Vaal, Randjiesfontein area, and if that is the case, then the yielding conditions seems to be helping D'Angelo better based on that run where he was running third, and that is why the ratings suggest that D'Angelo is going to be involved in the finish here. The third choice is Ricardo, so I'm going D'Angelo, Global Town, and Ricardo. And I think between those three is probably the winner, and probably enough for the pick 6. I've just gone 5 and 6. The second leg, and here we have interesting Dancing Arrow at 30 to 1 top rated with some red bats here. He was top rated at 30 to 1. I think he's now top rated at like 10 to 1, so he's got a lot of support so far. It's probably because everyone else is using the ratings as well. Everything is free, and the subscriptions or the members are registering quite fast as the Met is upon us for the weekend. Dancing Arabian, though, has not done the 1450, but in saying that, I have quite a few roughies in this race, so I'm hoping for quite a result here. If I'm looking at the odds on an old sweet song, Sarel van Willensmith, I have no idea how that is favorite. I might be completely wrong, but 26, 28, 24, and 25 bat figures compared to 0s, 14s, 0s, 13s, 8s, and even Courtney Lee's on 13s, 11s, 14s, 12s, 17s. I have no idea how that could be a 2.85 favorite. So, what am I going to be doing here? I think it's quite open. I have loaded up in my bipod here. As you can see, I have taken 7, 8, 9, 13, and 6, and that does not include Sarel van Willensmith on the favorite. So, my first choice is Dancing Arabian. Dancing Arabian has 14 greenie points. You have to have 15 to be a greenie, so he was extremely close to being a greenie. His blinkers are taken off. He's gone back onto Alamites only, and that was when he got his best Vaal run. It was not Vaal Classic, but Vaal with Alamites only on a 0 with 57.85. Very good adjusted time over the 1200 meters. If you just look at other runners in this field, you can see his adjusted time is very much lit up more green than the rest of them. He does have Randall Simons on board again. That did take him for a test drive on his last run when he only finished 3 lengths behind the winner. He may have come back to say to Roy Magner that he needs further. I'm hoping that is the case. He was at 22-1. There was no support on that day, but he did finish second on the 1200 Vaal. The previous time he came to the Vaal over that kind of a distance. So Dancing Arabian for me is a really decent value perspective, but I wouldn't be backing him on my own. My second choice would be Rose Willow, Brett Weber, and Mallorca. Mallorca's doing quite well for me of late. Brett Weber was doing very well on Tuesday. In fact, he did have one of our value bets at 14-1 win for us. I think Rose Willow is not far out of it. He's based on the exotic ranking. His green bats of 8.71 was a huge improvement on the 1400. So that does look like the 1600 was just too far. You can see he moved down to a 9.3 on the 1200 and an 8.7 on the 1400. Which would suggest that that is more or less the distance that he likes. My third choice, yet another roughie, Courtney Lee, Grant Maroon's only runner for the day. He takes 1.5 kilos off the back with Dickon, and now the blinkers are taken off. You can see there was 4 runs here with blinkers on, and then there was one missing without the blinkers, which wasn't all that great. And there was a blinkers fitted on the 1000 meters that he got some support in yielding conditions, and he also got some support in yielding conditions on the 5th of January. So in more softer yielding conditions, he should be a bit of a runner in here as well. Then I'm expecting improvement from Pecan Pie. Pecan Pie was debuting at 10-1 with Alec Laird and Kumalo, and Kumalo retained the ride, and that does mean something, I guess. And he also has the top intentions, so I'm expecting improvement from him. And then there's a 22-1 Miss Venezuela from the Paul Peter yard with very decent Craig Zaki on board now. Has the best exact distance medium speed, has the best bomb roll 168 days, the best curve, in other words, the best consistency over the last 8 months, and the exact course and distance bat CD is also the best in the field. A little bit better than what we have in Ginseng here. So Ginseng is also expected as a little bit of an improver, but he has gone the wrong way, maybe because he's been going too far on the 2000s, and he's returning back to the 1450 where he was his best run. He's got Jardin on board as well. So open contest. My choices 7, 8, 9, 13 and 6. 7, 8, 9, 13 and 6. Dancing Arabian, Rose Willow, Courtney Lee, Pecan Pie, and Miss Venezuela. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the yellow stars. In the third, and here I do think that Sean Terry holds the aces. Herodotus is the favorite from Cape Town, but simply looking at the 2 Terry horses ahead of him on my rating is against the grain, the lesser of the Terry stable, with Munger and Flying Carpet, the one that Hewitson takes. And there is a explanation for why Hewitson is taking him. He ran in a feature the last time, but then again he also only won his maiden plate the time before then. He had a run under 1600 meters. It wasn't all that great, but it was in the Dingans, so must be given another shot. But the this against the grain has been running in some features, graduation plates, merit rate at 96, merit rate at 96 here, and has been 2 lengths, 5 lengths, 1 length, 2 lengths, 3 lengths, 1 length, very decent. So also a competitor, best adjusted time, best median speed, best form, and all the bats, 42, 84, 168, and the curve all belonging to him, with Herodotus maybe needing another run for Janssen van Vuren today, as he has a stable change, you can see there. My fourth choice is the other Tarry runner, Invisible, and he's also had a first on his only try on the 1600 Vaal with some reasonably decent bat figures, the best blue bat, and the 13 is only 4 behind against the grain, so he's my fourth choice. I've gone 4-6-2-3 in my bipots and in my PA. You can see the algorithms actually likes even more, says it's quite open. They went 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You'll always see that in the bottom left here. That's what the algorithms are suggesting. Moving on to the fourth, and here I would potentially see Sean Tarry on his double with Bebop after he's won the third. But Franklin is his biggest danger. You can see the bat figures here is bat 42, 84, 168 is 4 lengths better than Bebop, but Bebop has the consistency on the 8 months consistency bat C. So Bebop is my first, Franklin is my second, Queen Bomi is my third choice that has the overall ranking here, and Fort Anne is the roughie for me, Adamson and Stradom. Takes statistical form and takes intent. 50% chance on statistical form, that's 4 out of 8 on statistical form, and Bebop has 50% on bat curve, also 4 out of 8. So yeah, Bebop, Franklin, Queen Bomi, Fort Anne, Curvation, Lady Amherst. I don't think Bold Fortune likes the softer going too much, and his last 2 runs was terrible. Yielding 49, bats soft 21. When it was good going, he was doing better. But I think it is a bit of a sting off the ground, so it is a bit of softer in the bottom as well. So I'm going to go 4, 1, 9 in my bipod and PA, and I'm going to add the 2 in my small pick 6, and then the large one I'm going to go 6, 3, and 8. Curvation, Lady Amherst, and Netta. I do have some respect for Daphne de Moria as well, now that Fabian Habib has started with his tricks to win with his big odds, trying to probably get some money back in for the stable. Then in the fifth, all the noise is for African Adventure. That's supposed to just come here and win this race at 2-1. It might be the case now that Lewis Hewitson is taking the ride. He does have the best super rule percentage, but clearly his bat figures from a data perspective is not as good as Glider Pilot is, and is not as good as the bumroll figures for Euros Honor, overall ranking, Greeny points, all these bumroll figures. Then Barahan, Mike the Cox only runner. Callan Murray has only got the 2 for the day, and he's probably more serious on the Cock one. Best bat curve. And out of your league, Fabian Habib here comes in 4th with Seister at 16-1, best exact distance, median speed, and a very good 6.17 bat, and the best bat CD. And then only 5th, African Adventure, and Divine Odyssey is another one that has to be respected because he's quite close on the 6 bat here as well. So I'm not going to bank African Adventure, clearly as the data suggests. So 7, 4, 1, 3, 6, and then the 2, and the bigger perm, the 5 for the pick 6, Imperial Ruby. In the 6th race, potentially one of the best runners for the day, Var is Vicky, Pettigrew, and Yeni. If Vars Vicky just runs his normal race over the 1450, he should win this hands down easy. Greeny, best everything except for the stat form and the intent. He is not the best on. But in saying that, he's pretty much best in every single thing else. There's Rock the Globe, there's also Bomb Curve. So, no one else has done the exact course and distance 1450 Vaal Classic in this field, but Vars Vicky has got the credentials and the figures and the probability support. 60% P stats, 3 out of 5, top rated to finish first on overall ranking. Exotic percentage, exotic ranking 40, median speed, the pace 40%, speed rating 40%, exact distance, median speed, so the pace over this distance 40%, the total 40%, chance to win for Varsviki. So probably a banker in my pick 6 and probably a banker in the PA and the bipod as well. If you want to take some backup, Your Pace or Mine and Rock the Globe. Your Pace or Mine does have a potential of a double year with Mike de Kock and Barahan, and I would like to see the result of that race first before I put some money on Var is Vicky, because the machine learning does suggest that Kalis Champ has a chance as well here. You can see when you've got machine learning and AI here, 60% goes to Kalis Champ, where 51 only goes to Vars Vicky out of 100. That is for the allocation. In the 7th year, it could potentially be the toughest race in the card. It is a Phillies and Nes 100, so that should be quite a consistent report, quite a consistent indicator. But there's a lot of different weights here to play around with, and Rapid Fire pops out as the best on the bat, 42.84, 168 on the 2.1, which is very close to the 0, which is the best industry standard for the Phillies and Mares 100 handicaps over 1000 meter class A. And best total curves, best speed rating, best form, exotic ranking, greeny points, overall ranking, all belongs to Rapid Fire. So I'm making my first choice. My second choice will go to Sweet Sensation, one of the Cornet speed runners. Muzieni takes the ride here. He had a bit of a hidden run here on the bat 42, so the bat 84 gives him a 2.54, which is very close to the 2.1. That's the best, and that run was on the 5th of December for Sweet Sensation. You can see that the Turffontein uphill battle over the further distance did not work for Sweet Sensation, and he's back over the flat 1000 meters Vaal, where he gets all these very good bat figures from. So he's my second choice. My third choice is Winter Watch, which is the favorite. He doesn't have as good bat figures, but he has decent bat figures. Did run a second on the Vaal Classic the last time. Dennis Schwartz gets back on board after the 2 runs with Simons and Kumalo. So he's my third choice. And Shea Bella might be coming to a bit of form, as it suggests here. He's coming from 7 to 6 to 4.92. He's improving, and now he's got Striker on board, so he could be competition here as well. All of Me, the Spies coupling. Henny Groening takes the ride, which is not a bad thing, because Henny Groening's had the 1 run on him and won with that 1 run on him. That's when All of Me was doing 3 wins in a row. Henny Groening returns, so I've got some respect for him, although he didn't show that on his last 1200 Turffontein, but Turffontein 1200 uphill 9 meters versus flat Vaal. He might go to the front and try and stay at the front. And then Fly Away should also still be improving. The other Paul Peter runner, he is only on his 7th run, and he's already shown me the best exact course and distance, 0.06 on the Blue Bat. There has been some support on him in the betting here, so that does suggest he's won 3 out of 6, so he can't be too bad winning, running and being in on 3 out of 6. So PA 108543, and the pick 6, I am adding the 7, the 1, and the 9. Slalom Queen, Fly Away, and Ola. Ola is getting blinkers fitted for the very first time in his career, or well, in his last 10 runs at the very least. He has run in soft going the last 2 times. He's getting on the 1000 meters. He'll be better with the blinkers on. He's getting a little bit older, Ola, so I wouldn't be surprised if the blinkers are fitted just to make him a bit more interested in racing again, and that might just lead to a little bit of surprise. He also gets the 2.5 kilos off the back, and Macaulay takes the ride, which has been second and third on him, which is an interesting fact as well, because since Macaulay is taking the ride on Ula, I do think that your potential banker could be Vos Vicky here with Stuart Pettigrew and Muzieni. But I also like my second best for the day in Varina. Varina to beat Mind Reader, Time for That, and Sweet Future. And the reason for that is quite superior on the 1.47 bat figures here. The second best is the 5.8 on Impressive Duchess and Corney Spies and Jeff and Mr. Sampson. Then he has the 2 for the day. So that in itself, if I look at the bat 42 form, Varina is clearly Var-achtig, much better than the rest. After the 2.5 kilos taken, and that does lead me to suspect that Ashley Fortune might try and open and close the meeting in saying that he has the best bat 42 in Global Town and he has the best bat 42 in Varina. So that's my thinking. Varina my first choice, Mind Reader my second choice. Interesting little runner in Time for That pops up at the bottom here, but not if you go to bat 84 route. Then Time for That pops up in third place here on the bat 84, and he will probably be better today because he's coming from a rest as an only runner and an only jockey. So only trainer, only jockey, and that normally leads to only improvement. Now, also on top of that, he has been getting a little bit of support of late recently. His adjusted time speed rating figures was flashing here when it goes down to 1,000 Vaal. Penny has been riding it all along. You see on this day they tried 40 into 22. Now that should be a lot of stable money or connections money. And the last time he did win his maiden, and now they can start to really play. So he did win his maiden in the 15th of December. He comes back 6 weeks later and might just pop up here at 22 to 1, only carrying 52 kilos, only runner for Jared Penny. And Jared has found that the 1,000 meter is the best for this horse since first to the third on the last 2 runs. Okay guys, let's just quickly pop in here and have a quick squiz at what does the jockey trainer combinations and the jockey trainer details suggest. Now this is normally where I look at what's my biggest gaps, and in the first year you can see the Greenie D'Angelo has a 2.25 ranking average because there's a lot of 1s and a lot of 2s in here. 2.25 is clearly extremely low, and the second best is a 337 on Global Town and a 382 ranking average on Ricardo. After that it jumps up to 5s, so I think those 3 is enough there. In the second you've got a 3.19 on Dancing Arabian here at 30 to 1, obviously something that needs to be respected. Then you got a 3.75 on Rose Willow at 7 to 1, and after the 3.75 my next best only pops into a 5.29 on Courtney Lee. So you can understand why my algorithms is therefore only putting in the 2 runners into my bipod, because of these ranges that goes further than a specific range for that class. Then it says, okay, well I only need those 2 as the stats would suggest. So you can see 3.75 and 3.19, and then next is only a 5.29, and after the 5.29 we then move up to a 6.14 on Peak and Pie. So does look like those first 2 must have some sort of a chance at 8 and 30 to 1. Sean Terry does lead the market or the rankings in the third race. He's got a 2.96 on Against the Grain. He's got a 3.14 on Fine Carpet, clearly very close together. And then Janssen van Vuuren on Herodotus 3.6 and Sean Terry on Invisible 3.9. So again, why the algorithms is suggesting that it is close because the rankings is very close. In the fourth, yeah, our best is a 3.28 on the Terry Bebop, followed by a 3.41 on the Verdenise and Franklin. You can see Verdenise only taken one run since the last win, and that also does help always. And then you have a 3.79 as the next best on Queen Bomi, that's only taken three winners runs since the last one on Kagitso Matonyane. Also some decent ranking on him as 3.79. And the next one goes to a 4.92 then on Adamson and Fort Anne at 12-1. In the fifth, we have a 2.71 as the best, Quick Glider Pilot, which is obviously not the favorite. Then we have Hero's Honor in second, which is also not the favorite. Then we have Barahan 4.21 and Fabian Hubbard out of your league 4.28. Still, we don't have the favorite. And then we have the very much talked about favorite here, Joey Soma, with African Adventure, followed closely by a 4.7 on Divine Odyssey. So that's why the data suggests that he's not just going to come and win. In the sixth race, the data does suggest that 1.79 on Varsviki is what we call in Afrikaans a sitter, because he does look like a sitter. My friends will enjoy that because they always ask me for what is a sitter. Where's the sitter for the day? It's almost like a Queen Supreme, this one, a sitter, 1.79, followed by 2.79 on Rock the Globe, 3.14 on Kalis Champ, 3.93 on Russian Prince, 4.5 on In Cahoots, and 4.88 on Nordic Rebel. So if Varsviki doesn't win it, then the rest of the field is quite compacted. So I'm just going to bank a Varsviki. In the seventh, then we do have the best is a 3.3, which is Rapid Fire at 9-1. And then after that, we've got some close together, 4.24 on Sweet Sensation, 4.41 on Winter Watch, 4.76 on All of Me, 4.93 on Fly Away, and then there's a lot of fives as well, a 5.22 Slalom Queen, 5.45 Ula, and clearly quite close together. And then the last race, almost what I believe should be another sitter, Varina 2.48, at least a sitter for the PA, so I banked him in my PA. You can see there's just a 2 here. He's got a lot of ones. He's got a lot of ones here as well. There's a couple of big ones that brings his ranking up to a 2.48. But still, the 2.48 is clearly quite a bit better than the rest of the field here, with the second best, a 4.63, which is almost double than the first choice. And that is time for that. Did I have that right now? Oh, sorry, there's a 4.55 in Mind Reader, and then a 4.63 in time for that. So if I had to pick two bankers for you for today, it will be the two sitters, Varina and Varsviki, as my two. They're both greenish as well, Varina and Varsviki. And then I guess I'm worried about Global Town against Denagilo. I think Dancing Arabian Rose Willow looks pretty decent there, like that kind of prices. I think this is Terry, race 3-4 for the Terry win, if Erico Verdenise doesn't upset him. Race 5, everyone's going Joey Soma. I don't. I'm going Tyrone Zaki, Alexander, the Cock, Hubbard. But I guess Joey Soma can just win as well. Yeah, I think is your chance to banker in Varsviki. If not, then your place of mine, Rock the Globe, Kalis Champ. And in the seventh, Rapid Fire, Sweet Sensation. This is the tough one. Take a lot here. Maybe nibble on Rapid Fire because his bat figures is really good. Or maybe the Spice coupling Sweet Sensation. His previous bat figures was pretty good. And All of Me's current bat figures of 42 is pretty good. But then you got Winter Watch as the best back curve as well, so that's why it's an open race. And the last, hoping Varina is just a banker. In saying that, I am expecting Sweet Future to improve only on his fourth run with Azzy and Hewitson in this race. And you do have Rapid Fire with Azzy and Munger in this race. So more reason for me to like Rapid Fire to have a go here before the try and win with Sweet Future. The favourite in the last. Sweet Future can win. I'm not saying he's not going to win, but he needs to improve 6 lengths on that 8.43 to reach the 1.43, 1.47, 1.5 kind of figures here. I'm not saying he can't do it because he is coming down to 1,000 meters, but if you're running in 1,000 meters, then at least you should be having speed rating that suggests that you are very, very fast. And your speed rating is not as good as Varina, and your adjusted time is not as good as Varina or pace. So why I like Varina more than Sweet Future. Guys, I've talked too much. Sorry, half an hour. Have a great day. Speak to you again for the big day. Probably try and do the preview for the Met today sometime.